So here we go, guys. Thank you very much for clicking on my video. So the ultimate question, do paid setups work in Le Mans Ultimate? I've got a feeling they will. Let's get into it. So here we have some great control data. I've got 2 fixed rookie races in my history in the last week at Portimao. What's even better than that, I have almost the exact same fastest lap in both of these races. A 146.061 and a 146.024. Less than half a tenth difference between those 2 races. Both these races were run long before I managed to get hold of a setup. To test what a paid setup can do, we have managed to get hold of a package from Sim Racing ARNOUT. In this package, you will get 5 different setups for the car across all racetracks. These setups are ranked 1 to 5 based on how advanced a driver you are. You also get some literature to help you tweak the setups to your liking, along with a welcome and instructional video on how to use the setups, which was gold for me because I had no idea. I tried setup 2 of 5, placing myself at an average driver competent. As you can see from this onboard footage, I have about 7 laps of fuel in the car when we actually start this flying lap. I'm halfway through the fuel tank of an actual race setup, starting at 40% in the car. The track conditions do match the race conditions I previously raced in, which is saturated to help the rookies stay on the track, basically. So how does the car feel? Well, if I'm honest, it feels identical to the fixed LM setup. But I think this is probably a good thing. It's super stable and easy to live with. I can get on the power quickly out of the corners, which is normally my biggest issue. Oversteer on corner exit because of a heavy right foot. But with the information provided by ARNOUT, you could tune the setup to your liking based on these issues. So if you have understeer on turning on high speed corners, increase the rear ride height. Oversteer on exit out of low speed corners, increase the traction control. I think that this is actually the true sweet spot of this package. It's being taught a little bit about how the setups work and what you can do about the issues that you are having. It feels really personal and I like that. So as we enter the final sector here, you can see my first sector was not fantastic. Middle sector was purple and we now have a Mustang to contend with. A cheeky little dive down the inside and we are just setting up these tricky last 2 corners. Nice and early on the throttle in the last bend here, and the car manages to stick with it. And we cross the line for a 145.691. In another example, we're going to travel to Silverstone, my favourite track in the world. Now, in a recent ELMS race, I did my fastest ever lap on Le Mans Ultimate around here towards the end of the race, with a 2:00.4. For whatever reason, I'm nowhere near that time in this session today. I can only assume the session attributes and the track states are different to the ELMS race. Now, I did 10 laps on the fixed LMU setup to get a baseline. Pushing as hard as I could, I managed a 2:01.599. That's the car starting with 50% fuel. I then loaded up ARNOUT's number 2 setup for Silverstone. So still a fairly safe setup. Again, this is on 50% fuel when we leave the pits. And despite a yellow first sector and this dopey Lexus that came out of the pits and then wants to race me, we manage, after 5 laps or so, to bag ourselves a 2:01.006. I then spent 22 laps. Yep, 22 laps. Back in the fixed setup in the same session, trying to beat ARNOUT's time. I did shave a tenth off my previous fixed run, but I was still a way off ARNOUT's setup. There we go, guys. What do you reckon? I managed to bag myself 4 attempts at Portimao and half a second at Silverstone. Silverstone in the same session. I genuinely did come out of the car, put the other setup back on, and drove it for 22 laps, fresh tyres, pitting, trying to beat that time, and I couldn't beat it. If you want to find out if these setups make you any quicker like they did for me, link in the description. ARNOUT was kind enough to give me a 15% discount for you guys. You can use that code that's on screen now. Go and grab yourself some setups, see if it helps you out. Cheers.